Not that, but having said that, this would not be typical operation support where you tend to see production issues and tickets and all those things. Besides them, we do operate heavily on non-prod tickets, right? When I say non-prod tickets, it's mainly on non-prod issues with respect to environment issues, defects related to your code configs and all, right? When it's code config, it's more for development teams to look at. Basically, as a triage teams, we tend to take it up and update the defects accordingly with the logs and whatever needed for development teams to take it from there and resolve, right? And then we do operate, of course, weekends as well, like on-call basis sometimes. Because we do T-Mobile as a client does the weekend testing as well. So that's another thing. Of course, it's not with continuous weekends, but at the same time, it would be more of on-call rotation basis. Yeah. So having said that, feel free to go ahead with your expertise and let me know and your practices that you have been doing so far, and then we can from there.
Sure. Definitely. So coming into my roles, and I was responsible for actually I was actually having overall years of experience in the DevOps and the cloud and site reliability engineering as well. As CI/CD pipeline, I was actually working on the various various kinds of deployment automation and working on optimizing the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances using the DC instances and deploying them on the Amazon applications. I was also using the Elastic Beanstalk as well and implementing the multiple iterative pipelines pipelines on Jenkins using SonarQube and Cobalt to do the end-to-end deployment and also validating the end-to-end on the real time as well. So I was also working with the S3 buckets using IAM rules on the Amazon console and also on the API integration as well. I was also using the Puppet code managing services with Amazon Web Services using the Ansible configuration management and writing various tools as well. So I was also automating the Amazon instances on Ubuntu and Linux and also setting up the Puppet Enterprise Puppet Enterprise fully Puppet Enterprise actually, and I was also working with using container deployment and setting up the current production servers. I was also working with dashboards for monitoring of the application Grafana as Prometheus, both are like similar tools. I was also with the cloud formation, working cloud formation template as well. And I have experience with the Docker as well, creating image of our application to move from on-prem to AWS cloud. So right now in California, working as a DevOps with SRE site reliability engineer, I perform like various configuration maintenance, setting up the updated builds and troubleshooting of the scripts. I was also responsible for working with the containerizer integration of the real-time access control and also working with the automated release APIs. I was also handling the instances of the Amazon, working on the S3 storage buckets and working with the archive glacier files, and that all will also work with local balancer and automation inside that they are on the fault of the tolerance systems. And I was also trying to work on the application side and deployment and also working on the DevOps integration as well. Also, I had a good experience on the GitHub and build automation as well as the architect repository for pushing the successful build tools. So, and I was actually more into the infrastructure side actually. Right now, my current project, when I was joined, we moved around the application from on-prem to AWS cloud. We use Terraform to create infrastructure as code, Terraform to create infrastructure in AWS, and then we move every application from on-prem to AWS cloud. For that, we use the EC2, ECS, and IAM load balancer on AWS, and Jenkins to build the code and Docker to create an image of the whole application and then move AWS. So that's how what I've been doing.
Okay. So looks like your core expertise is pretty much on the DevOps side. Looks like, right? Yeah. So how comfortable are you to kind of shift towards operations, because this would not be as exciting as what you do in day out for your DevOps roles, but how exciting or how inclined would you be to working on the operations projects?
Basically, yes, I am very much comfortable on shifting to the operation side as well, like, because working on the various kinds of operation customization, and say like on the DevOps integration side, so trying to work on the entire containerization and automation, trying to handle the end-to-end integration of the DevOps services in the application integration, and I was also responsible for working with the continuous getting the approvals from them, understanding how we could get the source code management and all the way to the production systems, and integrating the DevOps API and areas with the container and the validating them on all the way to the production system, and setting up the custom pipelines, trying to get approvals from real stakeholders. So that's I'm very much able to work on the operation side as well, because like I have worked on like previously I have worked in team of wireless, like I worked in both applications.
Okay. Yeah, which team did you work in?
I have worked under Donkireddy Venkat Reddy. You say director at that point of time. We are like 5 people who we work under, but we work on multiple applications, mainly for the web applications. No app. That was the app name when I was there actually. SPX, RPX. I don't remember all the names, but we worked.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. And also, did you had any AWS framework then when you were working in T-Mobile?
Yes. Basically, we had some basic Terraform templates actually, which are created, and then we also have some cloud formation templates to use whenever we want. Then we also try to migrate our cloud formation templates to the Terraform and setting up monitoring on the CloudWatch alarm. So this was the primary framework which we had created in our environment at the point of time. So we also had some of the customers endpoints which are actually validated, and we are also able to do work on the base access control without our application service lifecycle inside. So getting the cloud formation templates, the digital Terraform API, which was the run, and we are also able to do the blue-green deployment across, so that we don't have to do any kind of manual downtime of the containers inside that. So this was really useful for us, and we are also able to get the approvals of the various stakeholders in the customer environment and validate them all the way to the production API.
Okay, got it. So one question, since you mentioned multiple applications and projects that you worked on, did any of your projects had any of the hands-on development role? In other words, did you get a chance to understand what's the functionality of a project or what's the functionality of an application? I know you worked on the DevOps side of framework on it, probably, but created pipelines and other things. But did you get a chance to work through an application, understanding the functionality, what it brings to the business, and all those things?
Yes, I did some development in the Python Django, but then I was primarily working with the SRE and DevOps side of experience on setting up the functionality of the project, like working on the application functionality and trying to work on the DevOps integration APIs and trying to back the pipelines across multiple Amazon environments. So trying to work on the application services inside the functionality we should be created. So yeah, I will say that this was one of the things in separate inside the previous project, wherein a lot of microservices will be transferred into the Python Django. So
okay. Good. Did you had any hands-on experience with any Python or code languages?
Yes. So basically, coming into the Python and the coding languages, like I was actually working with the Python Django framework, actually, like trying to use Python, Python photo library, to handle the entire application across the services. I was also working with the integration, getting the approvals of the Django APIs, which are actually, when we did, I was also working with the continuous integration and said, pieces and integrate them with the core containers as well. They was also working with the backend side with the Terraform templates and working with the continuous integration, which were handled by us. So yeah, this was really one of the things we should actually evaluating the Bamboo pipelines, integrating them with the pipeline API.
Okay, got it. Sure. Would any of your projects had Splunk, Grafana dashboards? Any of those things? Did you create dashboards, monitoring dashboards, or anything, alerts, reports, anything that sort of?
Yes, we had this blanket like Elastic, Search Logstack, Kibana, and others inside. There are so basically when multiple dashboards is like alerting and said like I was also responsible working with alerting when needed, and I like we normally set up and deployment actually. So when deployment happens, like so, basically we were also able to work on creating dashboards and alerting systems and say like they are trying to work on the validation endpoints. So end-to-end data points I would like to see which will create it and say that also handling the end-to-end code containerization. So using these dashboards from various log files inside that. So.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So what is your current project? I know you reside currently in California, right?
I was currently working with this Fargo right now. As I said before, like we were actually uh, uh, like I joined like in 2020 January. We were completely working from there. Like we moved like 30 applications from prem to AWS cloud. Complete 30 applications actually, and that project was completed after like from the past 3 or 4 months. We set up the monitoring tools. We are monitoring those applications for any issues or nothing. We will do and resolve these issues. That's what we are doing right now. Uh, we had multiple monitoring tools like Splunk, Grafana, Prometheus, AWS Cloudwash. These are the 4 tools we have used here right now. But right now, our goal is to resolve any issues if any application raised or like if any other comes into our monitoring system.
Okay, got it. So how would you troubleshoot a production issue? I mean, what would be your key steps? Step 1, step 2, step 3, and how would I get to triage steps, right? What would be your steps?
So basically, when there is a production issues, we can troubleshoot by first of all by checking the logs. Once you have checked the logs, I would like to say that you can actually work on the various steps inside the application side. So we can actually go and validate the entire steps inside the application. So we will log into the specific log files and see like what the problem. We'll also look at the Splunk and the logs inside the dashboard and the application containers in which will be created in different products. So we can also look at the CPU and the memory and the response time of the application pages. So trying to understand like how this is working out and see then on the application container which could be created. So once these containers are integrated, we can also work on the customized project at the same time and fix it. So we can actually also try to see and look at the points of the application which is in which is inside logs actually. So
Okay, and so besides the logs, how do you ensure? Like, I mean, because it's more than technical, it's all about environment awareness, right? In other words, you need to understand, hey, what is my backend? What is the front end? What kind of format they could be setting? What are the other leads that I can leverage to troubleshoot an issue? Is it, it depends on the issue. The issues can be multiple, right? One is, hey, somebody says, we are sending out message, but looks like there is no response from your system, right? In that case, you would probably need to check your system. right? Whether first of all there is a logging for that particular event or order ID or whatever unique identifier that you have it. Then if you see something in your world, essentially you can easily figure out where it's failing. But if you do not see, what are the other steps that you follow? If my system is saying that I sent a message or an event to your message or to your system, but you do not see that tracing, what would be your approach? How would you start your triage?
So I think we can actually do a breakpoint troubleshooting in this case. So first of all, I will actually try to read that endpoint and see if it's actually receiving any kind of JSON input. I will do post-site troubleshooting from our side, and from their side, I will also try to log into that specific server endpoint and see if it's actually accepting requests from remote, actually remote machines. They will also check into a call endpoint, recheck and pass. And we'll also do like custom JSON to that endpoint. Once we are past the JSON to the endpoint, we can see if the response is coming or not. We can also use tools like we can also use the we can also use tools like Postman and other tools to actually get the response of the remote APIs. This can be very easy to understand, and it can be very easy to get the application containers created on the top of that. So we can easily go and define a specific response-based data, and we can also get them easily monitored using the New Relic dashboard, which can be created in that. So that's how we can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I see your point. I mean, I think you're talking more towards running as a runtime and then troubleshooting more like a managed war room, right? But there could be scenarios where it's more like a fact that it's a production event, right? You would not, I mean, you cannot reproduce it. It's come an upstream system. It's more like a upstream system, and you would need to trace it as it is with the existing logs. Not necessarily you will get a chance to reprocess or redo something all over again, right? So in that case, you might also check if you have any file issues, or it could be a network layer, gateways, or anything that sort of right.
Basically, if it's a product issue, then I'll actually go and look at various kinds of monitoring systems and logs and try to correlate and stuff. So I will actually look at multiple systems and their logs and put them on multiple dashboards at the same time, and then try to reprocess them and understand the problem like. So you can actually go and try to understand if you have any kind of other third-party endpoint issues which were there at some point, sometime. I would like to say if it was a gateway point where other endpoints were having the same issue, then we can actually fix those in the production endpoint data and validate them with the containers and use those files to fixes to validate the application APIs inside that. So this could be really easy to get the entire application container tools and say that like I can define them on log-based entry points. We can also correlate the entire systems at the same time, and then we can use if the findings match each other. So if the findings match each other, we can actually go and get these service integrations, which could be defined. And on top of that, I would like to see, so it's going to be very easy to handle the interconnected data points. And we correlate the findings of multiple monitoring systems and logging systems, and also see if there was a remote downtime of some third-party systems processes. So,
Okay. Understood. Uh, okay. So in terms of this project, as I mentioned, it would be more triaging, troubleshooting issues, especially non-prod. And unfortunately, you wouldn't have scope or access to deploy something the way that you probably you're doing in your other projects. So that's what the limitation of this project, right? Yeah, that's it. And are you trying to relocate, Sarthi, in case?
yes, I am actually. I was trying to move from here to both or Seattle or like Atlanta immediately. And the cost was really, I'm not able to bear the cost from actually. It's very, so I was trying to move. Actually, I like the place both actually. He previously worked with the right, so after them, second chance to move to both area again. So.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah. I think that's all. Do you have any questions for me?
Right now, no. Right now. So when I got the job, may I ask like what is the team size? Like what is it like day-to-day activities and what is that?
So we have multiple teams across different shores. Of course, offshore is there. We have Mexico as well. We operate through Mexico. Then we also have US team. So US team is around, I would say, 13 to 14 people. Mexico is around another 24 to 20 people. So that's a team size, to be frank, because it's an operation project. But within the team, you still have small pods, right? Each pod operates for a set of functionalities or set of capability teams, set of application teams, right? Because we cover a huge portion of a vertical within the team of build of an operations and support, and where we create dashboards, we create innovations. Innovations could be like botfications of the application or botfication of the existing framework, so that we can easily get some data and all those things, right? So basically, to unblock few of the operation challenges. That's it. That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah. Think I am like if I got the opportunity, I am very excited to work on this one. I want to, yeah, I can.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Thank you, Saudi. We'll keep you posted. Thank you.